Today I want to talk to you about this Pukpuk treaty that has recently been signed between the Australian government and the PNG government. And it's a 27-page treaty that's been signed recently. So let's get into it and read the first page of the treaty. It talks about the UN, all the UN principles and charter about respecting the territorial integrity and respecting other nations and living in peace with your neighbors. And what the fuck? Australians are telling Papua New Guineans and the good Prime Minister of Papua New Guinea, Honorable James Marape, is giving in to the foreign tactics of foreign agendas. The purpose of this agenda is not addressing the needs of Papua New Guineans in the villages, and it is against our constitution. Now, Somare, late Somare, the father of the nation, with due respect, said that Papua New Guineans are friends to all and enemies to none. And what the fuck is Australia telling us that China is your enemy? You better be ready and allow us to come and set up the oil storage, which has been funded by the US government. That's not something that's going to benefit Papua New Guinea. It's not going to address the fuel shortage and New Guinea flight delays due to fuel shortage and all this crap. That is a strategic move. That's the fuel storage that they'll use when they start a fight with China. Now, China is not going to start a fight with anyone in the Pacific. It's the USA. China, if you look at their history, they've never invaded a country. They have the policy of non interference with any other nation, any other sovereign state for that matter. And in this treaty, they talk about in the opening pages about all the good things that the UN stands for. Now, if you look at the West, if you look at USA and Israel, do they respect the UN charters and the principles and all those good things they are mentioning here? No. And Australia is part of the Western Hemisphere. So they are reaffirming the uh, equal parties, sovereign equality of the parties and neighboring states, their faith in the purposes and principles of the Charter of the United Nations, and their desire to live in peace with all peoples and all governments. What the fuck? Respecting the sovereignty, independence, integrity, territorial integrity of both parties and of our neighbors, and the importance of principle of non-interference in the internal affairs of one another, consistent with the Charter of the United Nations. This is complete lie. Recognizing the special nature of the defense partnership between the parties defined by the history, depth, and the close ties between the defense organizations and the personnel. The the first page, only by reading the first page, I know that this is rubbish. Committed to the mutual defense of both parties in order to support each other in times of crisis and conflict. Now, we are declaring that Papua New Guinea is going to be a battleground. Before the Chinese reach Australia, they must fight in PNG. It also means that Papua New Guinea will be the target for the advanced missiles and drones and whatever you have that the Chinese have developed. If you've seen the military parade of the Chinese army some months back, Those are the weapons that you are exposing PNG to. So if you search on the internet, you'll have a look at this document and read through all this bullshit they are declaring. And in actual fact, um, they're not gonna do this. They're not gonna respect Papua New Guinea. They're Australians have been inserted into the Papua New Guinea government to advise, and that's interference. Now, we don't know why they don't want to build the capacity of the PNG defense force. They want to keep the Papua New Guinea defense force weak so that they can always override and they can always make decision for us. Because they want to keep Papua New Guinea weak militarily so that we don't take sides with another country and invade them. Now, that's a bit paranoid because Papua New Guinea and Asians and all these other countries do not have that colonial mentality. It's the Australians and the white people. Now, when I'm talking about white people started existing some 7,000, less than 10,000 years ago. They are not original people. We, the black people, are the original people of the earth. And nature loves the black people. We are, um, the sun loves the black people. If a white person comes to PNG and exposes too much in the sun, their skin goes red. They are not natural. They are fake human beings made in China. So have a look at this treaty, Papua New Guineans, if you have time. Don't be kept in the dark. You can search on the internet and find it. It's in PDF form and read about it. It's all these things, formal um, things that it's a waste of time. They're not gonna um, stick to these things they've written. They said Papua New Guineans are gonna join the PN, the Australian Defence Force. It doesn't really say much in depth about that. Maybe they're gonna be cooks or carriers like in the past. So yeah. Now with Article 8 talks about movement. The receiving party shall, subject to its laws and regulations, grant to the vessels and aircraft of the sending party ingress to, movement within, and egress from such defined land and sea areas, air space, or facilities within its territory for the purpose of defense cooperation activities. Bullshit, including expedited ingress and egress where when demand by an exigency, to the extent permitted by its own laws and regulations. The receiving party may grant clearance in advance for ingress and egress to the vessels and aircraft of the sending party as mutually determined by the parties. Vehicles, vessels, aircraft, and defense personnel of a sending party shall, subject to any restrictions imposed by the receiving party, enjoy freedom of movement within the receiving party's territory upon receiving clearance for ingress into that territory, or if applicable on arrival to that territory, if the receiving party has granted clearance to the sending party in advance. Now, they are saying that movement in and out of PNG will be subjected to some kind of uh, permit to move in and move out with their vessels, their equipment, their yeah, whatever equipment, military equipment, planes or ships or vehicles or whatnot. That's on paper, but it has to be seen to be believed. Article 9 talks about in circumstances where the parties have agreed that the defense personnel of a sending party, the sending party is the Australia, will be accompanied by defense personnel from a third state. The parties shall consult to determine the arrangements pursuant to which those personnel will accompany the sending party's defense personnel. No, there has to be some arrangement. Uh, there's some loopholes there. I can't believe this. So have a look at this treaty. I encourage you to go and download it and have a look and have your thought. I think that the overall picture is that this is not Papua New Guinea's doing. This is something that has been forced onto us. It's a foreign agenda being forced into PNG's mouth and down the throat of the Prime Minister and the whole cabinet. Now, this is not what we've agreed. We have to see what is the benefit that's going to come to PNG. How much money is it going to generate for Papua New Guinea? What are the infrastructure benefits? We've been living with Papua New Guinea for over 50, Australia for over 50 years. See our roads, see our ports. Some of our districts are not sealed. The roads are not sealed. The services, the healthcare, the education. We've been living with Australia. We've been partnering with Australia and see. And also look at other options. Look at other um, ways we could have improved our trade and um, international relationship with other countries. Take, for example, China. China has the Belt and Road Initiative that's developing other nations. And the Western countries like Australia, they have mining and LNG companies coming into PNG. And how much are they benefiting the PNG government, the PNG economy, and the people? You see the infrastructure in your rural place, in your district. You see the local governments, and they have the guts to say that you are corrupt, and they are grey listing PNG. What have they done? What have they done to strengthen governance in Papua New Guinea? They've wasted 50 years. What if China comes in? What are benefits there? They are telling us that China is our enemy. No, China is not our enemy. China is our development partner. And we should stop listening to this foreign uh, propaganda. It's all for their benefit. I think all Papua New Guineans need to read this document and make your own opinion. Thank you so much, and I'll end here.